Hi everyone, it's Hits from Bindaas Bollywood Dance Company. As you know, we've been doing all our interviews, videos, and podcasts just to keep the industry motivated. Today we have Elvic here today, and he is one of my favorite dancers in all of Australia. As usual, I'm not going to talk too much, so it's all up to him. Hi Elvic. We've had a chat before, but I'll say hi again.
What's up? Hey guys.
How's ISO going? I mean, I know we had a big chat, but tell our audience how isolation and quarantine is going, basically.
Yeah, no, isolation, I mean, it's going okay. I'm still safe, still healthy. I mean, I came back overseas and that was that self-quarantine in my room by myself. That was probably the hardest.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Because I didn't want to infect anyone of my close relatives, and I kind of had to be back home just to make sure I didn't infect my housemates as well.
Yeah.
But over this prolonged period of time, I mean, I'm able to go to work, but there's not much work to do. Studios are closed, so I mean, health-wise, I'm okay, but it's definitely hurting them morally, just because I don't have much motivation to keep pushing. Because yeah, it is what it is. But I'm still trying to find little specks of hope and light just to keep seizing throughout the day, to keep life forward, like pushing forward. Yeah.
That's it. And thank you, like, honestly, thank you so, so much. I'm really grateful, like, that you even took this time on a Sunday to do this with us, because the whole point of all these little videos, interviews, and podcasts is just so that everyone does stay motivated. But just for our audience, I know a lot of people know you anyway throughout the nation. Because you are such an amazing dancer and you're multi-talented anyway. But I think we first met through our Maya concerts. And for those of you guys that are listening and aren't familiar with that, so Maya's our annual concert. It's not just our annual concert. We basically run it as a multicultural concert. So it's a platform for various dancers of various backgrounds to present their artwork as well. So anything from music to dance as well, and lots of other creative stuff. So Elvic and I met through because of that, I think in 2014, if I recall. But it's been a while. Time flies, as we were saying before. Yeah.
I think it was, yeah, 2014. I think that was the first year, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I think we'd had Maya, we started doing the Maya concert 2013, but I'm pretty sure we'd had one or two and then we met you. Yeah. So it was absolutely amazing. I remember watching you dance for the first time, and Jimmy and I were just like, that guy's mesmerizing. we were just speechless. It was just absolutely beautiful. But can you tell our audience, and also, like, just, I mean, I know bits and pieces, but how did your dance journey begin? Like, how old were you and what inspired you, or how did it all begin?
Okay. So I guess I got first shown into dance properly in 2009, and I was around 15 at the time. Pretty much, I got actually accidentally put into a dance class at my high school. I was meant to be in IT class, or I think at the time it was my year 10 elective, and I chose dance as my last option. Like, yeah, I'm never gonna get this.
Oh my God.
And then, well, turns out I actually did. And I was the only guy there at that time. And it was like a small group as well. I had to stick it out for 2 to 3 weeks before I can actually try and make an attempt to change.
Yeah.
2 to 3 weeks. I think my teacher, as probably well as my peers, made it a solid mission to keep me as the only guy in the dance class. And yeah, no, they were really kind and really supportive. And I knew that I think at that point I wasn't able to get out of it, so I tried to learn how to pop and lock, on YouTube at that time. Just like, all right, I'm going to come into class at least with something, because I know majority of the girls were technically trained. And I also was watching, a lot of Michael Jackson at the time.
Nice.
Of video hits and seeing him dance. I mean, he's legendary. He's absolutely phenomenal. And then eventually I also got to watch America's Best Dance Crew, and I saw the American crew Jabberwockies.
Nice.
The hip hop crew with all the masks, and for them to dance as they did. And I guess personally for me, seeing Asians win this major competition was pretty inspiring as well, because I haven't personally seen many Asians pursue a career in the arts and truly succeed. Because most of the time I was watching, Step Up, and I was watching a lot of YouTube dancers who were, yes, of Asian, but didn't really, have that major career where they're on MTV or video hits or the Oscars performing and like, here's my art form.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much where it all started with my teacher helping me out and being supportive and suggesting me to do community hip hop classes at the community center. It was pretty
Wow.
it was pretty low at that time, but I found it really good for me to start off with.
Yeah.
And from then on out, I just performed at local festivals, and then eventually I made an admission like, if I'm going to still aim to dance, I might as well take it as professionally and as with a mission as possible. And here I am now.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. So you never went back to that IT class?
No.
Found your calling.
It was just fun because I think with Asian cultures in general, I was always pushed into academia. Or the tutoring. So that was like my after school like activity, school, tutoring, and that's pretty much it. But it was. I personally have always been quite active. I've always been playing tag or playing soccer in my pastime. But I don't know. I think when I found dance, that really truly changed something. And I don't know, just having that, being on stage, and even me being incredibly nervous, being the only guy in this class performing in front of my entire year level. And at that, probably even now it still counts, but even earlier that time, there's not many guys dancing. I went to a school that everyone was like, oh yeah, the boys, let's go play footy. So going for me, being I think the first Asian dancer, and not many Asians that back then were dancing, and then being male as well, it was a lot to deal with, especially with showing my family like, oh hey, I'm dancing. That they didn't really get that, and I think to this day they're still trying to understand it, which is good. Making an attempt, and at least them trying now is good. But back then it was that was I had nothing. I had not much. So I think for me, my teacher and again my peers in my class supporting me at that time, it gave me a sense of belonging. So that truly for me is undescribable. Because I had nowhere else to really go to feel comfortable, because I'm just reading books and doing homework, and then it was just mundane, But when I dancing, it was something. It's something just sparked, and I was happy, which is really important, to be happy.
I think perfectly said, and that's something I always tell, especially our younger dancers, all the kids that we teach. There's always a big difference in ratio with female dancers and male dancers. I think it's just across the board, whatever style of dance it is. I know, like for example, like the male hip hop communities, it is a lot of males, but so for example, Bollywood, there are males that dance, but there's still a little bit of stigma. There's still a little bit of judgment. There's still a little bit of, you should be doing sports, or if you're going to dance, you should be doing this style and not this style. So there is quite a little bit of that still in the industry, but we try and encourage our, I'm so glad you said all the things that you did just now, because that's something we really try and encourage all our male performers with, especially the younger boys as well. But no, it's been great. Sorry, just off the top of my head, I think you studied at, you went to Ministry of Dance, is that right? Jason Coleman's,
Yep. That was 2014, 2015. So pretty much I graduated high school in 2012. And I think at that time I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was kind of leaning towards paramedicine. I went to the open day at Monash, and I was looking into the course. I've always been interested in the human body, and how to fix it, and all the problems that the human body has. It always makes me like fascinated as well. So I think for my parents, it's like, well, at least it's something. But in the end, I knew I really dig myself into the research, and personally, like seeing that kind of trauma every day, as well as having that responsibility of life, holding someone's life in your hands pretty much every day. I don't know if I'll be able to handle it. I'm more than happy to help, of course, but facing that every day and seeing the mental trauma it takes and the toll it takes onto the people, it's up there, which is why I have so much respect for the emergency services today, even now, yeah. But in that year, I also kept dancing and I kept immersing myself in all these international choreographers from LA or from England coming down to teach. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And I got to know more of the Melbourne dance scene as well. And again, I saw more males dancing, and they were more accepting as well. And I saw a lot of this hip hop urban community grow from pretty much from nothing to where it is now. Being a part of that journey and seeing all these amazing choreographers who started from Melbourne at the same time I was dancing, or even beforehand, now teaching international workshops in Poland. It's pretty outstanding, to be honest. And then for me, I was like, you know, I'm gonna do this. So in that gap year from 2013, I was just working at Nando's grilling chicken, and then because with Jason Coleman's Ministry of Dance, it was $20,000. And for like an 18, 19-year-old, it's not normal to have like 20K, let's go.
Yes.
So I was just grilling chicken, and eventually I set my sights on, Jason Coleman's Ministry of Dance, the full-time course, because I didn't really know many places to go. So I just thought, Jason Coleman, so you think you can dance? I just went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Like, I mean, it's definitely a journey that I'll always hold dear because it definitely broke me a fair few times. But it also made me the dancer that I am today, discipline-wise, as well as versatility. I'm able to perform lyrical and contemporary, as well as commercial jazz, and unleash that sassiness as well, and then hip hop as well. I got to meet some choreographers who are quite well known today. I got to dance in LA because of the training I've had through this. So it was really good, with that sense. And again, with Melbourne, a lot of the full-time community are immersed in the dancing today. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, hey, how you been? How's it going? It's good to see familiar faces, but it also shows it takes a strong person to really go through all that. Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, just purely training to dance. And I think half an hour, if you're lucky, break to eat your lunch. And then you get a 10-minute break for like a little recess to have your fruit, and then back to ballet or back to contemporary. And rain or shine, you keep pushing. And again, it definitely takes someone of both physical and mental strength to pull through, because a lot of people did drop out as well. It's because it's a lot. Some people are traveling from interstate overseas just specifically to train to be the most elite dancer and elite athlete. And it's hard because like everyone's like, oh yeah, you're so fit, you're so strong, but we were doing legitimately 200 push-ups for our boot camp, and then burpees and holding all these planks. And that's not just one day, that's nearly every day. And on top of that, that's your warm-up. And then you got ballet, and you got singing, and then you got commercial, you got tap, and then it's a lot to take in.
I was just gonna say, it sounds extremely disciplined. Yeah. I mean, obviously, most full-time dance schools are, but it's just hearing it firsthand as well. It's a completely different insight. But did you ever have any serious injuries? Like since your whole entire dance career, I'm saying, especially at dance school.
Dance school. Well, I think after this one, like I think I only got my major injury in 2014. My knee popped out, and it was like I was doing demi plies, and then eventually we had to go to grand plie and go all the way to the floor. Again, my body was past fatigue and exhaustion, but then again, getting yelled at, I was like, nah, it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna keep going. And also, I'm the type of person that tends to not give up so easily, even if it means, I guess, breaking a few things, which there you go. So my knee popped out when I was doing ballet, and that hurt like absolute crazy. I was out for a solid 2 months before I could even attempt to learn choreo or to actually train. And even after 2 months, I was just going just by hand, like 1, 2, 3, 4, because again, like the human body doesn't, I mean, it's not like a movie, like it won't heal just right there.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you do, yeah, a lot of rehab, a lot of baby strengthening, stretching exercises. That was probably the worst injury. And for them to massage all the muscles, I'm like, oh my God, this hurts. Yeah.
Oh, can
So that
imagine.
was like my major one. And after that, I really took warming up seriously. Like, I mean, during my teaching dance classes, I do try to warm up, but if I'm personally about to perform, I would take a solid hour, unless I already know I mean, the choreo I would know back to back already, but if I was really going to push for something that means like this is the performance of a lifetime, a solid hour just to strengthen a little bit and stretch every part of my body, just to make sure like, all right, here I go. I'm not just like prepared mentally, but physically as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, with dancers, our bodies are our tool, right? We damage it, that's it. We don't have a fallback unless you have a side business on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, that's the worst
that's
one.
right. You know, like, I mean, we always say in our culture, like, your body is a temple and you should
Yeah,
respect it. So you need to nourish it. You need to look after it. I think, you know, I'm not sure if it's the same case with you, but I have a tendency not to rest too much when I know I should.
yeah,
Now, I've had the same injury since September. I was in a sling up until yesterday, I think, but it's just, yeah, sometimes it's not great. But I think one thing, like you mentioned before, I think if when you know your body's exhausted, you need to stop, and that's when
yeah,
your teachers and managers and whoever's in charge need to be sensible enough to say your body needs to rest, your muscles need to recover and gain some strength, gain some nutrients, because if you push yourself beyond that point, you could do some, you're very lucky because you could have done some permanent damage as
yeah,
well. You're
yeah,
very, very lucky.
yeah. I mean, during the time when I would do rest, I always thought like there's probably moments that I was thinking, yeah, I can join in for this combo, but again, I don't know. I think probably common sense kicked in like a few times. Like, you know what, I'm not gonna risk it. But I felt guilty not training with my cohort because every day I see them get better. And every day I'm sitting down just rolling out or stretching or doing the calf raises just so my knee can get better.
Yeah.
But they're turning, they're jumping, they're leaping, and they're being absolutely phenomenal, getting seen, getting praised. Yeah, I guess I did feel quite left out, of course, and saddened that I'm not training with them. Because in the end, I came from, like YouTube dancing, getting accidentally put into class, and they've been, jumping and dancing since they were 2 or 5. So I personally felt that in ministry, I was very behind. So that's why, like, I was one of those kids that took training very seriously, because I know for sure that, well, I didn't want to grill chicken for another 40 hours a week and then not dance.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not planning to do full-time training again.
Yeah.
So, I'm more than happy to train now, but going through that again, I don't think I need to do that anymore. Because I know that I can just take the classes and train with that outside, like in the space or Passion Studios or any other studio. Whereas 9:30 to 4 o'clock again, like I don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
And I know what I want to do. Whereas back then, ministry was thinking your only way to succeed is to get a professional contract, go to cruise ships, Disneyland, Universal Studios. And as appealing as that is, I don't know if now thinking about it, I wouldn't be happy because it's a lot of character work, not a lot of dancing.
Yeah.
Whereas I train to dance and choreograph, not like, hi guys, welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think the fine line between dancing and entertainment. So
yeah.
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 For
And so
sure.
like for me, even going through that, I ministry did teach me a lot on audition etiquette, and how to audition and still be seen and memorable, even if you're not going to make it. So like, most learning how to pop and wave and do all that robotic stuff did make me shine and make me seen because not a lot of people did that. Because I went to ministry, it's one of the top tier schools, and again, most of the schools there were, oh, I can do 10 turns and then, hover
Yeah.
like 5 more years and then jump, 5 meters in the air. That kind of thing is very like prima ballerina kind of feel. But with hip hop, I don't even, I still to this day, I don't even know how I got in. Um, I think Jason was like, oh yeah, I see potential. I see something, you work very hard. And yeah, I guess that's how I got in. So, but yeah, like I think for me, being different helped me get seen more,
Yeah.
which is what also happened with the Melbourne scene today. Like I'm known just to be at any class, where if it's ballet or commercial or heels,
Yeah.
I can't dance in heels, but like I can do it in sneakers. But like hip hop, I can go to any class and support the Vogue scene or the whacking scene or the hip hop scene or the ballet scene even, and still give it my everything and survive it. um,
Yeah.
Whereas like I know like some dancers only go to classes that they feel comfortable with, and that's it, which is great. But you're not growing if you're already knowing what to expect. If that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like feeling a little bit uncomfortable because knowing like if I already know like this move is going to be here, this head roll is going to be here, and kind of like, well, I just wasted $20 by the way. It's a
Yeah.
lot of money
Yeah.
just doing the same choreo, which for clout or for just for internet likes, and in the end, I don't want to dance for that. I don't want to dance for likes. I want to dance to be seen, but to grow.
Exactly. No,
Yeah,
perfectly said. There's a quote that's always used in Indian dance movies, and Indian Bollywood dance movies have only been a thing in the last 5 years, but they always say, "We dance to express, not impress." So it's such a simple statement, but it's so
yeah,
true because Melbourne dance industry, I mean, the whole entire global dance industry, but I find Melbourne dance industry is so competitive. You know, the infinite different styles,
yeah,
and you've got the core styles, but even within that there's like subgroups and people
yes,
that have been in the industry for this much longer, and
yeah,
then it's like who you know as well and what
100%.
connections you have, and it's I feel like it is a very superficial industry. It can be if you
Oh
lose that touch of creativity and integrity as
yeah.
well. But yeah, no, I think you're doing absolutely amazing. What styles do you teach? Like, do you teach pretty much a couple of different styles,
Yeah.
or is it?
Predominantly, I do teach urban. That's my main style. I do teach hip hop here and there, but we just got because hip hop is a major culture as well. So most of my stuff, I do tell my students, even though it's classified as hip hop, I have to tell my students the difference between hip hop and urban because urban isn't hip hop, but it has foundations from hip hop, which make it what it is today. And it's still a pretty fresh style in Australia. It's been around for like a couple of years here now, but it's been in San Francisco and LA since like the early 2000s. Yeah, so uh, I do teach hip hop as well, but hip hop is very important to understand. That it's a like houses. It's a styles that consist of house and popping that kind of stuff. Um, I also teach lyrical and contemporary as well, and I teach commercial jazz too. Um,
Wow, it's quite a range.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
just because I do believe that to be seen and to, I guess, succeed, now you have to be really versatile. Unless you're like extremely good at the one style and can dance with, Janet Jackson right now with her style. Like you
yeah,
have to be that good just to stay with the one style.
yeah,
But even then, all these dancers who go to perform, with Ariana Grande and all these other outstanding artists, they are as versatile as anything. Um, just because nowadays, well, let's rewind back to Flashdance where like that double turn or that triple turn was amazing. Everyone can triple turn nowadays, and it's sad, but it, like you said, it's very competitive.
yeah,
Everyone can triple turn. Everyone can jump now. Everyone can like do three turns in the air now. Well,
yeah,
not everyone, but the majority of the people in the competition can. So that's why you have to make something different and challenge yourself to make yourself seen again.
yeah,
Which is why, even with ministry, it definitely taught me to be very versatile, which is why I feel confident enough to even teach and dance and perform these styles that I teach my students.
yeah,
Because it just adds a little bit more variety. And my students are still like, oh, wow, you can do this and this and this. Maybe I could do it too. Whereas,
yeah,
because I know with a lot of the students I teach, they're all girls who want to be sassy and who want to do ballet, which is great. But I've seen some of the most powerful female dancers who can pop just as hard, even harder than me. Especially like for me, I think I saw a lot of Kiwi dancers,
yeah,
royal family in general. They're so strong and they're ferocity and the sass and how hard they hit is, I'm just in awe because I want to teach, yeah, just because it's just very inspirational, and I want to teach the girls that it's not, you don't always have to be too sassy or here and there. Like some girls don't even like to be sassy. Some girls really want to be like really strong.
Yeah.
That's why teaching this and giving them a taste of being sassy and strong and that like kind of gangster LA vibe,
Yeah.
they can be like, oh, this is so cool. You know, I don't have to be that one thing. So yeah, that's yeah. I've been able to teach all that, and it's
Nice.
been a journey.
Hey, sorry, because you mentioned LA a few times. I forgot to ask you. You've been to LA for dancing, and I know you've traveled here and there. You were recently in Singapore as well. Like, just tell our audience about some of your travel stories in terms of dance and arts, and
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been, you know, very thankful to where this career has brought me. I've been able to dance in LA and New York 2015, I think, and I was also dancing in Sydney 2014 a couple of times, and around Crown Casino locally, which is really cool. When you're dancing in another country, I thought this was competitive. When you go to LA or New York, that's some next level stuff.
Oh,
Um, it was definitely very eye opening. And even though the competition is very ferocious,
yeah.
it does depend on where you go. Of course, if you're in an audition, you better rock up knowing what to expect. Unless you rock up with mates who you've danced with for ages, then you're fine. But if you're by yourself,
Yeah.
it's pretty daunting. Because in Melbourne, if you're auditioning, everyone's quite friendly, and also us Aussies in general are pretty chill. But in America, I was doing a mock audition, and even then, even though it wasn't for anything, everyone was taking it so seriously, like this member could change your life, that kind of thing. And everyone was like very either pin dropping quiet, just listening to what the judges were asking for us dancers to give. It was pretty like, whoa, okay. But in general, being surrounded where I guess hip hop was pretty much born, I went to the Bronx in New York.
Nice.
Definitely don't go by yourself. It's one of those like, yeah, go with your mates as well. And seeing the birth of hip hop. And then I went to Broadway Dance Center in New York, and I did a mock audition there for I totally forgot this musical. It's on with the hip hop one. It's really big. It's always sold out.
It'll come to us.
You'll
But
come to
what
us
an
eventually.
amazing experience just to even be there.
Yeah. It was really breathtaking. Just to still see the talent in that room.
Yeah.
And everyone was like very friendly afterwards as well. Because it's a mock audition. It's like, oh yeah, how'd you go? You know, I stuffed this part up here and there. But in the audition, it's like, this is what I want. I like being surrounded by that, because being surrounded by the same goal orientating people, knowing what they want, helps me drive and inspire myself to be a lot more than I am. And in LA, like I got to compete at the World Championships of Performing Arts, and I've met some outstanding dancers, actors, singers. I got to compete against around the world in dance as well. And I came second and I think first a couple of times. I kind of forgot which category.
Oh my gosh, so proud of you.
Thank you. I got like gold. I've received gold medals, and I actually got into the grand final for modeling out of everything
That's
else.
right, I remember. Oh my gosh, holy shit, so much happened during that time.
Yeah, during that time, that was an interesting time. I'm like, out of everything as well at the grand final. I mean, I got beaten in dance grand final wise, but like no, I didn't make it to the grand final. Sorry for dance, but I passed. I bet people who've been modeling for years, and
that's monumental. Come on, people.
I was like,
the grueling process and preparation that goes into modeling comps.
Yep.
Congrats, man.
I was so surprised because technically, being part of the Australian team, I was meant to represent Australia in 5 different categories of anything. So I did contemporary, lyrical, hip hop, and like a special act for dance.
Yeah.
And number 5, I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I chose the easiest thing. It was like, all right, so all you have to do is just walk up and down the stage. Cool. So I chose modeling, and I rocked up. Like I knew I had to be formal, and there's like my swimwear option, which is wear board shorts. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I bought my board shorts from Kmart, and I bought my suit from last minute suit from, I think it was Connor, and I made it to the grand final. And like I bet I think a guy from Paris, and I bet like a couple people from Spain. I'm just thinking,
Wow.
okay, this is pretty next level. I was kind of winging this, and I was at that point thinking, how far did this go?
I
And
guess the 200 push-ups and the 9 to
yeah, all
4:30
that stuff. Yeah,
help.
I was so surprised, and I was just laughing at myself because I mean, everyone did take it seriously. I mean, I took it seriously too, but half the time I was thinking, how am I here? Because like there was this guy fully chiseled, like Hercules feel, tall, like 6 foot, and I'm thinking, what am I doing here? And like this guy was like he did model professional as well in it was in France. He was a French guy as well, and he had like blue eyes, full tan look, full like ripped. I'm like, yeah, how you doing? It was hard to talk to them because they didn't speak English either. So there was a few Chinese guy, one Chinese guy, French guy, and a guy from Hungary. Like it was really good to see them, but it's hard to talk because of the
Yes.
language barrier.
That's right.
But it was pretty funny and to see how they work because they had the coach who apparently she helped out with Miss America or Miss USA,
Oh,
and
wow.
she was the catwalk coach who helped us prepare for the grand final model walk with everything, the quick
Nice.
changes,
Yeah.
and she worked with she was a part of the Miss Universe team, and I'm like, I mean, I took it pretty chill, but everyone's like, oh my god, it's her, and I'm thinking, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I'm here for dance, but okay, I'll do it. But
I think that's what it was. Sometimes when you actually just let go and I'm not saying don't prepare. We all prepare for all these comps and performances and just each and every class, every minute of it. But sometimes when you let all of that go, you open the door for so many new things to come into your life. So
yeah,
there you go.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, when I came back to Melbourne, I did a few dance shots and I do dance photo shoots here and there, and it was pretty cool. But it's definitely very different to what I would expect because I know like it does take a lot of preparation to prepare for actual model catwalk and all these to get seen as well. Because I mean, there with our world, there's a lot of beautiful people out there too. And it's just more like the right people again to see you to succeed. I guess with any entertainment industry, right? So yeah, like that was pretty cool. But for me, just personally, taking these classes in LA and New York from people who I've admired since I began my dance journey, it was a very monumental moment for me. Because these guys who danced for Justin Timberlake, even Michael Jackson, are these guys who are very well known in the industry. Like I went to the Kinja's dojo and I saw all these guys who danced in even with Missy Elliott as well.
Wow.
And we apparently at one point, I think Demi Lovato walked into the studio. I wasn't in there, but I was a class that I was meant to take, and I'm like,
Oh no.
yeah, because I went to Harry Potter World that day,
Yeah.
so I was like,
Hey,
yeah,
did something amazing
yeah.
still.
I still saw something
Yeah.
awesome. But you just because it's quite common for these choreographers who do choreograph for these major artists to have the artists themselves walk into the class like, oh yeah, I want this person.
Yeah.
So with this one studio, Millennium Dance Complex, it's a very big studio where if you just happen to be in the right class at the right time, you can be seen and be offered a contract if you're that good, or you're recommended by the choreographer who has choreographed for Ariana Grande or Rihanna or these other guys.
Yeah.
And like again, like the arts industry there's a lot more opportunities there.
Yeah.
And the community is still pretty tight, but it also depends. Whereas like the LA hip hop scene, everyone's quite humble, everyone's quite respectful. Same with us here too. But in the commercial scene where a lot of things can make or break your career, is very every person for themselves. Because like if you're taking a class with your mate and then all of a sudden Rihanna walks in like, I want to choose 5 dancers, everyone will be like, here we go. Because these dancers who have been picked in class have their lives changed. Like there's people dancing with Chris Brown even right now. It's but like being surrounded by that and coming back here to Melbourne and having all that inspiration in my head was pretty worthwhile.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What an amazing dance journey you've had so far. And you're still so young. It's absolutely fantastic. But I was going to ask you, like, just, you know, we did touch on this immediately when we started the video, but how's COVID-19 affected you, just your whole dance profession? I know it's impacted Australia's dance and arts industry just so effing horribly, and it's just, I hope, I don't even know how we're going to recover from it, but how has it affected you personally?
Uh, it's definitely hit hard. I mean, obviously financial wise, it definitely hit hard, but I think more for me it was more a mental hit. Um, I think in general, like I was signed up. I was going to the Melbourne Storm hip hop group. I was meant to be showcasing. We're pretty much on par with the NRL team Melbourne Storm. We were meant to be the halftime show, the pre-show, and possibly the after show.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
it was going to be broadcasted on Channel 9 as well on the Today show, and we were rehearsing like I think twice a week for this one show. And before we actually even got to that show in general, it was cut. Like well, it wasn't cut then. It was when the virus hit. Then it got cut afterwards because everyone started like, all right, we can't afford this anymore. We can't afford this anymore. Um, and in general, like I think so. My director, she was actually going to push for the hip hop group to be seen a lot more because we had some pretty extraordinary talent in our cohort, and for them to see like because in the end it was mainly cheerleaders, in short skirts, like here we go, hey, but then they started to introduce more hip hop groups and putting more guys to be influenced by the arts as well. And also, again, like I'm actually like the first Asian male to be in this team.
Oh,
And it was, for me personally, it would be a massive opportunity to show my peers and my family even to see that, there's an Asian guy, me, hopeful, meant to be performing on Channel 9 pretty much every fortnight. And even though it's going to be 10 seconds of my face, that 10 seconds could help inspire so many people.
exactly.
So that for me, that was a hard one because I knew like how big that was. Of course, like all my teaching spots have all been cut. I teach in primary schools and high schools during the day sometimes, or majority of the time, and then I drive to my dance school, 4 o'clock to 8 or 4 to 9, that kind of thing. That's all gone. So that's pretty much my major income, and I did take schools off this year to train with choreographers in Melbourne to to be more versatile. But that training was all cut too. I was meant to dance in Sydney in 2 more weeks actually. That got cut too. So a lot of my training, definitely a lot of my teaching, a lot of my performances have all been gone, and I was meant to work on projects to get film, get my choreo out there. That's gone too because I can't do it anymore. It hurt a lot, and to keep training with, I think the potential of this year, what it could have been, hurt a lot because of like, I just lost this, and this, and again, I know probably I don't know how the government works, but like they probably didn't anticipate this or anything, but they probably have their hands full, especially with the whole country burning at the start of the year. I know it's a lot for them to take in too, but it's hard because the arts industry often gets left behind. Because I just remember it happens all the time with like the moment our country was burning, we sacrificed a lot of our time in our arts profession, wherever it's photography, dance, acting, singing. We're like, all right, let's put fundraising classes, let's put workshops here, and dedicate all those proceeds to the cause. And again, in general, we don't get paid a lot either. So, I mean, I would love to, drive my Audi down the block and, live comfortably and not think about how am I going to buy a house in 10, 15 years. What we do, I get happy. I'm very happy doing what I do to inspire the next generation. Because I was at this one school, was quite underprivileged as well. And again, like I had to do a workshop with year 11 students, which is always going to be hit or miss. And again, like it was very diverse. I had like a lot of Maoris, a lot of Islanders, and that kind of group. I'm like thinking, this is going to be either hell or it could be great. But I think for them, they've never seen a male dancer dance hip hop because I full gave them an urban show with old school R&B, They were listening. This I don't know in general, but the Islanders have good rhythm. So I was giving them like Kendrick Lamar and giving them like the cleanest versions of like J Cole or even Tupac and Biggie Smalls, and like they were like really grooving into it. And at the end of the day, like because I could tell when you walk into a class or even high schools who didn't sign up for class, I could tell like, oh, this could be a crap class, or it's going to be so boring, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then I put on music that they listen to because I don't think they expected me to listen to like, what? A teacher's listening to Tupac? What? What?
Yeah.
And yeah, and the thing, and I kind of chilled with them before class and after class and tried to talk to them normally. Like I know I was their teacher, but to bridge that gap and building that relationship, that trust, like, oh hey, like you guys don't want to dance, that's fine. Just kind of like chill in the back. I mean, I wasn't gonna reprimand them for anything unless they did disrupt the class. There's like a line, and for me, like at the end of the class, the guys who were meant to be disruptive, and even the teachers told me like, "Whoa, I've never seen them listen before," and they were like, they came up to me like, "Oh, thank you so much, sir. You actually inspired me. Like, you did really like. I really loved your class. I've always wanted to dance, but like my parents didn't let me. That kind of thing." And for me, like that kind of touched me a lot. So like with the virus hitting, like that was like I think that was this year as well. Like I was wanting to do a lot more of that, going to these schools who, yeah, guys who probably did want to dance or even sing or do it, that pursue something in the arts. I miss inspiring that, and like you don't have to go professionally, but you don't have to give it up either.
Exactly.
And I went there. It was like just in 1 hour. I don't know. This one class was just for 1 hour, and for them to say that like during lunchtime, I was just kind of chilling, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you're that cool teacher." Like for me to inspire the next generation, especially with guys dancing like that, I miss that a lot. So yeah, like this year I had a few more workshops lined up at all these other schools as well. Yeah, well that's all gone now, and so yeah, like it hit a lot. It hit hard, and I know I'm not the only one suffering. I know a lot of artists out there in this world, yeah, around the world, are suffering a lot too. But I try my best to not dwell in that because I know I'm going to just sink deeper and deeper into this abyss of what ifs and what it could be. Whereas I can be planning and putting my energy wisely into, all right, what can I do to make this better? Like what? I mean, there's still 6 months left of this year. There's still other things I can still do. There's things I can choreograph. So yeah, like for me, I guess the virus did put me and give me time, but it's time where I didn't want to spend just choreographing at home and not even be able to teach it to my students in the studio.
Yeah, no, I know, because we were talking about that before I actually hit record as well. Like you were saying, how difficult it can be sometimes to not get creative, but just the simple process of teaching. Like this is where I teach,
Yep.
hubbies, or all of hubbies and other family friends and stuff, instruments, just to make it look pretty. But the flooring is, the first day I danced here, oh my gosh, I thought my feet were going to, and it was only a 50-minute class. I honestly thought my feet were going to fall off because there's no springs underneath these floorboards. There's no bounce back, and there's just I felt like all my injuries just suddenly came back overnight. It's not easy adjusting, I think, for any artist, especially for dancers. And it's exactly like what you said. I teach at a lot of schools during the daytime as well, so I get sent out to different schools and just preschools and also primary and secondary, just to do Bollywood workshops in terms of spreading that cultural diversity, etc. And it's really good that you mentioned about some of the students that do hang back, or some of the students that sometimes they come across as they have the attitude or they're bullies or something. They're always the ones that end up actually connecting a little bit more, and the feedback that you get at the each and every end of each session, it's just amazing to know that you've made such a difference in a child's life. Because I mean, I didn't have that growing up here. I didn't dance when I was a young child. I only started dancing when I was 23, so I didn't have all those opportunities, and I miss being able to provide that for my students. Yes, online classes that we're doing whatever we can, but going out to different schools, because sometimes you find that there's certain students, certain boys and girls, they only go to school for these extracurricular activities because they hate doing maths or science. They
Yeah,
don't want to do it. They'd rather have what happened to you happen and get accidentally put into a dance class,
yeah,
instead of an IT class. So, sometimes we don't know how much someone else is suffering. And that's all been, I think, taken away because of this. I mean, we understand the health restrictions, definitely, but and it's the same for us. We run a lot of fundraisers and charity events through our dancing, and the people that are usually on the receiving end of those funds completely gone because we're not able to perform at these events, or we're not able to run fundraiser classes anymore because I'm not earning apart from whatever's coming in from the online classes either.
yeah,
So it's just such a vicious circle. But I really, really hope that it calms down soon and we are all in this together. So
yeah.
yeah.
It is, yeah. Because I mean, even with my Zoom classes, like it's there, but like not everyone has the accessibility to even access those classes. Because I know internet can be pretty shocking as well,
Yeah.
and not everybody has the resources for that. So like I
Yeah.
haven't seen most of my students probably in a solid 4 or 5 months because
Yeah.
I did take term one off just to
Yeah.
for me to have a break.
Yeah.
But I'm coming back into term two with online classes and one or two kids here and there, and it changes every time. Um, and it's just more the engagement as well, just being there to keep them engaged and keep them inspired, give them that same energy. It's very hard to give that through a screen.
Yeah.
And even with my time, I try to avoid my phone or my laptop as much as I can.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I can. It is difficult trying to teach through a screen,
Yeah.
and but at least with Zoom, it's still something.
The interaction slightly there, even though it's not that human
Yeah,
face-to-face interaction. Yeah.
yeah,
It's something. But speaking of kids and younger generations, I was going to say sorry because we're actually running out of time as well. So I've got just two more, one last question, and
yep.
then one word game for you. So
Go
last
for it.
question for the day. So I mean, we just spoke about how we become role models as teachers and in the industry, and with all the experience you've had so far in your dance and arts career,
Yep.
what would you say looking back to your 15-year-old self with all the wisdom that you have now, that time when at the beginning of your journey when you got accidentally put into the class,
Yep.
what advice would you give to yourself at that age?
Oh, that is an interesting question. That's a good one. Uh, I mean,
Stole it from Jay Shetty.
yeah. Oh man, like it's a good question indeed. I
Yeah.
mean, heck, some advice. Even now, like I probably would say definitely just more be true to yourself. And it's a generic one, but I think be true to yourself and follow your follow your heart sort of feel. Mainly because in this industry, I got swayed a lot into uh, putting myself out there in a position where I didn't feel comfortable with, but I didn't believe in either. And I just thought to myself, well, if I put myself out there like this, or if I didn't dance the way I did, but dance the way they did, which lost a lot of part of me as well, because I wasn't really getting seen a lot back then. Um, I lost a lot of myself trying to change the way I danced, trying to change the way I acted sometimes, and it definitely hurt in the long run as well. So like I know it's very generic, but like staying true to yourself would have kept my mind at ease, and just following my heart, because I also tend to have the tendency to please people too much. So therefore, I knew I did things that I personally wouldn't have agreed to do now, but I did them anyway, just to get a bit further in my career, kind of thing. Like nothing too bad, but I just know it's just one of those moments where I know I shouldn't have done that because I lost a part of myself that time, and I think losing a part of yourself is harder to regain that part back. So I know even with the people I surrounded myself with, they didn't really come to my concerts or anything, or they didn't they come to my like, oh yeah, it's only like $10, it's only like an hour show. I'm performing for like 3-4 minutes and that's it. Whereas I would like, even if after full time from dancing from 9 to 4, I would go to like their houses, like for their parties. I would go for like the 18th, 19th. I would go for their special, I don't know, like catch ups. But they would never really come to mind. So like I would say like just stay true to me, even at, because I know I wouldn't lose the people that really means a lot to me, because I know they always will be there and they'll make the effort to be there when I need them to be. Um, so that's probably like, stay true to me, follow my heart, and just keep going and just keep being me, because there's no one else that would be me other than me, right? So like, yeah, that's probably what I would say, because I know in the last 10 years from when I was 15, I would have been doing a lot more, and I know I would have achieved a lot more if I just stayed true to myself in my own style, because that would make me memorable. But it is, I mean, life's a learning journey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that's probably, I guess, the advice I would tell myself.
No, it's beautifully said. It's very, very beautifully said. And I hope, especially all the youth that are listening, especially all your students, all our students, all other dance enthusiasts, really take that in as well. Okay, very, very quick word game. So basically, it'll just take literally 20 seconds or less.
Okay.
I'm going to say a word, and without thinking too much, you have to respond with the first word or phrase that comes to your head. So for example, if I say ceiling, you can say whatever you like, and I'll just keep going, so and so.
Okay.
Okay. Melbourne.
Sky.
LA.
Oh, air.
Scott
Air.
Morrison.
Sorry?
Scott Morrison.
Mark. That was literally the first thing I had. I was like, nah, that was the first thing that popped in my head.
Okay. Hip hop.
Hip hop. Oh, baggy.
Laos.
Peaceful.
Sorry, mental block. Okay, mental block. There you go. There's a good one for teachers.
Ooh. Like for me, like I think the phrase for me was kind of like keep trying to breathe but not breathing. Because when I went to block, I stopped breathing and I have to keep like breathe. So that's the first thing, trying to breathe.
Nice. Oh, very nicely said. Okay, we'll keep going. Jason Coleman.
Tough but worth it.
Okay. New York.
Bright lights.
Nice. Okay. And Bollywood.
Colorful.
Nice. I think that's actually one of the very first things everyone says, colorful or vibrant in terms of Bollywood. But I was going to say, thank you so much, Elvic. Honestly, I wasn't lying before. You're actually one of my favorite dancers in the whole nation. And not just because you're a beautiful and versatile dancer, just because it's something Jimmy and I talk about all the time. Not behind your back, but we've said it to your face as well. Like, you are just such a humble person, and that is in the dance industry globally, but especially in Melbourne. When you weigh up the different characteristics of people amongst their talent, you don't often get talent and humble together. You usually get talent and ego, or talent and attitude, but you don't get that beautiful combination of that kindness, humbleness, and just that. I mean, you contribute so much to the community in terms of, like, you always are at our charity event. Like, without fail, you never say no, and sometimes you do more than one performance, and just you blow away the audience. Like, being able to see a beautiful dancer like yourself and just know that you're a beautiful person inside as well. I think it's such a great way to be as a dancer and as a role model, because I mean, you're still very young as well. I mean, sorry, I'm old enough to be your mom, so but for dancers that are much younger than you, it's very important that there are more teachers and choreographers that are like you, because it's just such a great inspiration. And I think that, those of you that are, students of Elvic's, if you're listening, or students of ours as well, just, keep following him, because he does absolutely amazing work. And, versatility is key in the dance industry, especially if you want to make a name for yourself and just be remembered for your artwork as well, because it's not just to entertain. It's about, giving a glimpse of your feelings and your insides to the world as well. Yeah. And that's what we do as artists, and hopefully, fingers crossed, our industry will survive. Yeah.
But we will. We're all in this together.
We will. Yeah, definitely we will. But no, thank you so much. I will let you go, and we will definitely see each other very, very soon. So thank you. Take care. Be safe.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me again. And it's lovely to see you again. And hopefully I'll see you guys in reality very soon.
Very soon, very soon. Take care.
Bye.